welcome to Modelled Ads. Today we're going to take a look at the forthcoming Rising Sun supplement for Flames of War, kindly provided by the chaps over at Battlefront. Rising Sun focuses on the Soviet Union's undeclared border disputes with Japan in Manchuria and Finland between May 1939 and March 1940. I have to be honest and say that this isn't a period I know a lot about, and was pleasantly surprised to realise that the plucky Finns were included under a title that heralded the opening shots in Battlefront's foray into the land war in Asia. That said, let's have a look at what you'll be getting for your money. As I've come to expect, Rising Sun is a lavishly illustrated 116-page softbound book written by Wayne Turner and opens with an accessible introduction to the First and Second Sino-Japanese Wars, the Nomonhan incident, and the subsequent Japanese and Soviet offensives. This is followed by the Japanese special rules and army lists, all well illustrated with figures from the forthcoming new Rangers. A useful painting guide to painting infantry and armour closes the section, followed by rule clarifications that relate to the terrain typical of the Mongolian steppe. This same format is adopted in the sections relating to the Soviets and Finns. The Soviet section provides a brief history of the Battle of Lake Khasan and Khalkhin Gol, the invasion of Poland, and the 1939-40 Winter War in Finland. Army lists follow with some interesting photos of new models, closing with a painting guide that covers weathering on Soviet vehicles. A brief history of the defence of Finland follows, finishing with the introduction of a new warrior sniper team, Aleksantti Simo Hathaway. Apologies for any pronunciation there, and the Finnish special rules. After the army lists, you get a Finnish painting guide. It's white, and optional winter battle special rules. Rising Sun finishes with an overview of Finnish terrain that showcases Battlefront's battlefield in a box range. The Japanese lists include two tank companies drawn from the 3rd and 4th Tank Regiments that consist of medium Type 89 Chi-Ro and the light Type 95 Ha-Go tanks respectively. An infantry company and a mechanised cavalry company round off the lists. The Japanese special rules of Banzai, Kendo and Human Bullet make them devastating in assaults. As fearless veterans with the No Surrender, Banners, Regimental Standards and Duty to the End special rules, Japanese players are guaranteed unprecedented staying power on the table. Whilst the ratings and special rules may be evocative of the period and pander to many gamers' tastes, the allocation of fearless veteran status to the 4th Tank Regiment may seem implausible to others given the undistinguished reputation of Japanese tankers during the war, albeit attributable to the terrain or doctrine they adopted. Japanese tankers, and in particular those commanding the one-man turreted Type 95 Ha-Go tanks, benefit further from the hip shot special rule that allows all tank teams to re-roll failed to hit rolls after moving when shooting at any target with their main gun within 16 inches. This sits uncomfortably with the one-man turret special rule in the main rulebook, given that only the commander of a Ha-Go tank was seated in the turret and responsible for observation, loading, aiming, firing the main gun, as well as decision-making and commanding the crew in a small, hand-operated turret. The extent to which the historical record can be overlooked in favour of playability or competitiveness is a moot point, and one that remains a personal preference. The Soviet lists consist of heavy, light and fast tank companies of T-28-35s, T-26 and BT-5s respectively. Again, a mechanised infantry company and an infantry Strelkovy round off the lists. All are rated confident conscript. The option to field T-35 super heavy tanks will be attractive to some, despite acknowledgement in the design notes that they didn't fight in either the Manchurian or Finnish theatres. Full rules for land battleships are included to allow players to field the T-35, as it was, at least theoretically, part of the Soviet order of battle and will, at least, allow Barbarossa fans to refight the Battle of Brody. Soviets benefit from human wave attacks that allow Strelkovy companies destroyed or to be disbanded and replaced by a new company minus any attachments. The prominence of political commissars is reflected in unified commands that benefit from the roles of both company commander and commissar. Personally, as a Soviet player, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the I-153 Chaika models as sporadic air support. The Finnish lists allow you to field a confident veteran Jalkaväki infantry company, as well as a fortified variant more characteristic of those that were stationed along the Mannerheim line. The Finns benefit from two further infantry companies, both rated fearless veteran, a Jalkaväki Kompania and a Zizzi Kompania, an exciting hit-and-run guerrilla infantry company. Finnish special rules enable them to move at the double across rough terrain, stubbornly resist or re-roll motivation checks to counterattack, and ambush their Soviet opponents and effectively disengage during the subsequent shooting step. Overall, I like this publication. It's a convenient and accessible introduction to a period that some might find unfamiliar. A lot will depend upon your view of Flames of War supplements, geared for tournament play. If you like historically inspired lists that are competitively balanced and seek to invoke the spirit of the period, then there's a lot here to like. If you're more of a purist but new to the early war period, there's still enough stuff here to pique your interest. You'll just have to tailor it to your own taste. Rising Sun is scheduled to be available in the UK from Saturday the 20th of July and will cost £18 or $30 US. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the steps.